I predicted about 3 years ago that there was going to be a crackdown on coaching. Now, I'm going to share why I think it was going to happen, and then you can talk about how it's actually happened.
Sure.
So here's why. From a financial perspective, the education industry is a huge money generator in terms of loans, in terms of repayments, in terms of financial institutions, salaries. I mean, it's a big part of America. And the education institution, the universities and what have you, were not living up to their part of the bargain. They weren't helping people find a career. And you could spend 4 years getting a degree, and still the joke was you end up saying, do you want fries with that? You end up working at McDonald's. What I found really fascinating was there was an episode of The Simpsons recently where it was always said that Lisa was going to be president. Like, that's kind of like the thing in The Simpsons. Yeah. But one of the recent episodes actually had her do it by not going through education. She said, there's no point going to university. Google's got all the information I need. There are coaches and experts out there with the information. I don't need to go to university. And for the first time ever, this projection of Lisa was she became president by not going to university, which was a complete slap in the face. And for me was the final straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, they are going to crack down on coaches. Now, I am so sure that this was going to happen that I put myself through school and actually graduated last week and got my degree in psychology, and I'm going on to get my doctorate because I'm so convinced that this is going to happen. Now, you're here to share with us that this is happening.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is anybody who's in, direct response space, whether you're selling supplements, you're a coach, or anything really in that kind of direct to consumer space, is probably well aware of the FTC, which is, a governing body in the United States. And even if you're not an American or specifically in the US, you could be affected by this if you're selling to Americans, right? So the FTC has long arms and they can reach across oceans and make sure that people who are not doing what they're supposed to do are penalized. So, the big thing that's happening right now is that the FTC is starting to release guidelines about what people who are in what's called business opportunity. Now that's like, business opportunity is education, coaching, life, anything that where you're providing advice to other people. So they're starting to bring some regulatory changes in that as to what you can say, how you can say it, which it's already been there, but they've kind of just re-released this, which means, hey, we're going to be looking at this a lot more in 2023. Facebook and YouTube. Facebook had its compliance issues for a while, and they were really cracking down. Facebook was really cracking down on a lot of the supplement offer owners and really what they're allowed to say. This is a guess, I guess, like an educated guess is that the FTC is going to be going after people on YouTube because YouTube is the breeding ground for these offers and so forth. So I think in 2023, YouTube's going to have a level of complexity. Like right now, I don't turn ads off, and I'm amazed at the claims that are being made on YouTube without any repercussions. So I think that if you're big on YouTube, you need to be watching that very carefully in 2023. Like YouTube's going to start cracking down and not allowing people to say what they're saying right now. The FTC, what typically happens is the FTC chooses 2 or 3 kind of notable players in this space, and they crack down hard on them, meaning they will go shut down their payment processing, fine them, go through and try to gather as many people as possible to complain. So they can build a big case. So obviously, if you're a low-level marketer, I'm not trying to insult anybody or anything, but like meaning if you're doing under
the top 10, yeah.
Yes. Like if you're doing under 100K per month, I wouldn't really be worried too much, meaning like they're not going to go after you. It's time for you to clean up, because what happens is that when payment processors see this type of activity happening, they start looking at their portfolio and seeing who are the worst offenders and start shutting people down because they don't want to have any legal repercussions. But if you're like a bigger person in this industry, a bigger company in this industry, this is where you really need to look at your practices and see what you're doing and any claims that you're making and so forth. A couple of tips that I have for people in this industry, if they want to continue, is reviews are king. So your Better Business Bureau, your BBB score, is something that is really relied upon heavily by the FTC. So a lot of people are like, who cares? the FTC cares, right? So you need to go to the bbb.org, create yourself an account. And if people are complaining about your business, you need to respond to them. You need to make sure that you get your grade higher than like an F, which is a lot of these coaching businesses, they're graded as F. Same thing with complaints board and any of those, complaint sites. You need to be responding. You need to make sure that people know you're a legit business. You're giving people a way to contact you. So really your online reputation is going to be really key here to ensure that you don't get caught by surprise, with fines or shutdowns and so forth. But it is inevitable. It's going to happen. And, I don't want to predict. I will predict it's going to happen in 2023 because I already see it happening, and people are shaping up to make sure that they don't get caught in this. Just as a general rule, the FTC. I've been in this industry in payment processing for over 15 years. The FTC every 12 to 18 months. It used to be every 2 to 3 years, and that's about 12 to 18 months. They look hard on one industry. So, some supplements sometimes, then they'll go through like direct response, mail telephone order, credit merchants. It's just the turn of the biz op guys right now. So that's what's going to happen next.
That makes sense. So do you see this affecting other coaches, wellness, dating, fitness, any of these other ones, or just biz op?
I mean, I think it's going to be focused on the make money type coaches, like the people who are promising monetary or financial. Obviously, the economy is changing. People are getting more desperate. They need, the economy is not as roaring as it was a couple of years ago. So there's a lot of people looking for ways to make money online. So I believe that's going to be the biggest part. But I mean, again, every 12 to 18 months, there's a new target. So the next one's probably going to be some other faction of coaching.